question for you today is, can you only eat 500 calories in a day? That has been my test for today, and before you say that's a terrible idea, which it really is, the idea is that you take 2 days out of the week to only eat 500 calories and then you kind of eat normally the other days. It's a form of intermittent fasting, which has been shown to be a good way to lose weight. And one of my issues is that while I firmly believe in exercise, for me, exercise is the #1 way to lose weight, and it has to do generally with my choosing some sort of very scary, difficult goal. And then once I train for that, the weight will fall off. If it's, for example, a marathon, half marathon, it takes a long time, and I do eat a ton, and I always eat a ton. I eat food all the time. In fact, I've read people who have nausea with breakfast or something like that, they were saying one of the issues is that their digestive juices are not flowing, and I was like, oh, well, I can eat at any time of the day, no problem, which means my digestive juices are always flowing. So today's effort has been to eat only 500 calories. You might try it if you tried this 5-2 plan, where you go 5 days of your normal calorie intake and then 2 days of a modified fast of 500 to 600 calories. But here we are, it's 5:30 p.m. and I've eaten 574 calories roughly. And I'm using MyFitnessPal to track all this. One thing I had learned in previous years of doing MyFitnessPal is that I was eating way too much early in the day because I eat so much at the end of the day, so I definitely don't need to pack it in at the beginning of the day as well. But I will say that this little effort has been fruitful because it's revealing some terrible habits that I have. And I know they're terrible habits, but you don't really understand that they're terrible habits until you give yourself a goal where those habits get in the way of it. And in this case, eating 500 calories and tracking what I was eating was that limitation that I put around eating. I work at home. That's another problem. So I work at home most of the time, and when I'm at home, I graze all day long and all night long. However, if I'm not at home, if I'm out and about, I really, for the most part, have an aversion to restaurants. You could probably count on one hand over the course of a year how often I would go to a restaurant. But then other things are just bad habits, and I even now have a very minor health issue that is exacerbated by eating too much, too fast. So that's another good reminder to look at how I'm eating. The first thing that happened this morning is my son made some breakfast, and I said, well, I want 1 egg and I want my 1/4 cup black beans. That's my go-to breakfast. Usually it's a 1/2 cup, but I made it a 1/4 cup black beans and like 1.5 scrambled eggs. And I got myself a giant glass of water. I'd already had my coffee earlier. I'd already had a few meetings and deadlines that I was working on. I sat outside with my plate and my water, and I did what I never do. I sat there and I really savored my food. And we all know these things, right? But it takes time to remind ourselves to do this. So I savored, and you know, there's so many little things about just savoring your food, like load up, you know, get it on your fork, put it in your mouth, start chewing, put the fork down, you know, don't spear up a bunch more food, you know, to stick it in the mouth. Really think about what you're eating. Don't be reading. Don't be on the phone. Between each bite, I would take water. And it probably took me 20 minutes to eat my breakfast, which is not normal. Normally, I scarf down whatever I eat while doing other things, while reading, while being on the computer, whatever I'm doing, while cleaning, while walking. Eating while walking. Think how much you could revolutionize your eating if you just made a rule that you always had to be stationary while eating. And, you know, not in a vehicle, not on a train, not walking, not while watching TV, not while on the computer, 100% dedicated in a beautiful environment to what you're eating. It also occurred to me as I was eating breakfast this morning, I thought, wow, you know, you could also give yourself a goal and say breakfast has to take 15 minutes to eat. And I thought, well, this should tide me over for a couple of hours. I had some of my favorite tea, which I recently have bought, but I also realized that I actually went outside to feed the dogs, and we have a tomato plant there, and I was eating, and I just realized that I ate like a whole bunch of they're little tiny tomatoes at this point, but I ate like 3 or 4 tomatoes without even realizing that I had done it. And I think that that is, like I said, a problem, is that I go in my kitchen and I just browse, open the fridge, what's in there. So, you know, I want to be more intentional about it and really enjoy the food and make that a commitment to what I eat. And also, obviously, the slower you eat, the more you get the message that you're full, and you don't feel like I need to make myself immediately another plate of exactly what I just ate so I can eat that just as fast while reading something else. My goal for tonight is I have a really delicious soup that my husband made, and I want to heat that up and eat just one bowl of it. I mean, last night, you should have seen me. I was standing over the stove, standing over the soup bowl, eating the soup. You know, these are the kind of behaviors that we do, and I, you know, it's a good time to look at those and really try not to do those things. And one of the things I did at summer camp this year too is I really got on no second helpings and no snacks. That was my plan, and it was great because at summer camp, you know, they feed you 3 times a day, you know, and they ring the bell and y'all come up like cows and get fed. And if you don't carry cash around to go to the snack store, there's no options to snack. So I didn't snack, and I did lose weight, and I was in great shape. Like I said, all of a sudden it's all come blasting back, and I don't like that, and I don't like not fitting into some of my favorite clothes. And, you know, like I said, there's a million little reasons and my own little criteria that I have for my own weight. And I also find it's useful to, because I don't do MyFitnessPal all the time, I just do it, I mean, well, I wasn't planning on doing it again for a while, but like I said, I weighed myself and I got scared. But what I think is cool is that I do have these measurements in there. So in fact, it was good news because I thought this is the most I've ever weighed. And then I pulled up MyFitnessPal and put in my current weight. And I saw that no, indeed, about a year ago or more, I had been 2 pounds more than this. I don't know if I'm going to make it to the end of the day. And I do fully believe that exercise is the key, but I'm finding myself just being so much more mindful about food. And hey, you know, I just spent 13 minutes recording this video and those were 13 minutes that I wasn't eating. So that's a little victory right there. So let me know if you think this is like a terrible idea, or have you ever even achieved this? Because like I said, I'm not a good food avoider. I love food, and I do believe that food is one of the great pleasures of life. So that's usually why I get myself on some crazy exercise hit. And I also am doing my run bet. So I just finished week 1 of the run bet, which I referenced in my very first Vlogtober video. And I did all 3 of my runs. Only negative there I would say is that the run bet runs, because they're starting off so short, I'm psychologically just going, oh, I only have to run 15 minutes. Oh, I only have to run 20 minutes. And I'm just doing that. But on the positive side, I'm running a little bit faster because I'm concerned with the speed that I have to do them at. Even though it's not fast, but sometimes I can run really slow. So I don't want to do a run and then have it be disqualified because I took too many breaks and it was too slow. I believe in enjoying life, you know, run and take a walking break and take a stretching break and look around. But since I'm not clear if breaks count as breaks, I'm worried, so I just go ahead and do the whole run at a better pace, so that's nice. It's a good time of year to look at what you eat, try to eat better, try to enjoy and savor the bounty that's all around us. Thanks for watching. Please comment and subscribe. Bye.